So part two of day 9. Check out that fire. Really nice little setting. This. Yeah. I give gratitude and thanks. For the things that I have. I must be doing something right. Um, Yeah, so it's I'm not exactly sure where I left off because I had a little break. Just a friend of mine phoned, and he's like, "Where's the video, man?" Like I'm waiting on my vid, man, and it's really funny, because he's like, "I'm hooked, man." You gotta put it up, man. Get it up, So hopefully, the first one's gone up while I'm doing this one, and thanks to my friend, he made me laugh there. Funny. He said, "Yeah, there's people waiting for it, man." So yeah, so I don't know where I was exactly. How to get a positive out of a negative, I suppose. Rewriting the program, I suppose we could start with that. In relation to okay, so I had a little fall, I had a little rumble. I ended up having some mashed potatoes, and it was kind of a downward spiral based on um, allowing myself a little bit too much of something, which was just there, and in a way, it's kind of I'm still trying to figure out what it is exactly, is required of me this time, and so. In a way, yeah, I was focused on, the first 8 days in kind of figuring things out. Like I said, I haven't had an overpowering feeling to have the superfood mix, and so because I've been kind of like watching Amin Ra a little bit, and this man's on his 16-year diet, of the 1 meal a day thing, and yeah, so I'm figuring things out, after watching Saint John Julian. Um, I mentioned him yesterday, I think. And the extreme fast of like 40 days, 40 nights. I mean, yes, it's yeah, it's not for me right now in this moment, But certainly, I do want to get the benefits of fasting. And there are obvious benefits from intermittent fasting. There's no doubt about that. There's loads of it on the internet, and like I said, some of the guys, some of the girls, they're they're 1 hour window. They're eating loads of food, as much as they can get down. Sometimes it's a 2 hour window or a 3 hour window, or whatever they've set themselves, and each to their own. And still there are benefits, from the either the 20 hour, 21, 22, 23 hour a day fast. Something is occurring, I used to do that before, where I would eat just some fruit before 12 and nothing but fruit, and that worked really well for me until I started eating, and then I was eating, I felt like shit, so I had this up at 4 in the morning, and till about 1 o'clock in the day, I'd have this fantastic vibrancy and energy, I'd have done all these exercises and walked up the tour, and done all these things before 9 o'clock even, and I had felt like I had a whole day already done, like, and just 5 or 6 different pieces of fruit, like one different fruit every hour or every half hour, and plenty of water, and just that, and I felt fantastic, And in the macrobiotic sense of the word, they're basically saying that from 4 in the morning till 12 in the day, your body's in cleansing mode. So put cleansing fruits into your body to help the process. And I often wonder how much of this is part of the mind, and what we believe. I'm pretty sure there's a big part in that. Like the placebo. When someone gets nothing or anything but the supposed medicine, it's just a placebo, but yet because they believe they're getting medicine, it works. There is definitely a big part of that in everything that we do. So I was wondering about that last night, going to bed, and almost fighting away the like a kung fu martial artist, the things that were slipping into my mind, from previous programs, which there are still little bits of this and that and the other, felt myself like, don't project the outcome and of the morning, in relation to just being having eaten some potatoes, and don't get into that mindset, and stop saying don't. You won't be getting into that mindset, affirm it, that because you've had this fall, you will do something more, um, to upset the apple cart. So here we are now in this moment anyway, in relation to um, I suppose the thing that came up for me in the bath was that kind of thing, about how we continue the program, of what was done to us, when we were kids, when we were bribed or given things, for finishing our food or whatever the case may be, and how we continue that, and dress it up in a new program, a new way, but a new agey type thing, but essentially it's the same thing, we might have changed the food from anything but like the really horrible cake you might get in a box that's full of 240,000 preservatives, to a more organic kind of a vegan-y, whatever, ice cream. It could be anything, but ultimately, you can still pig out as a vegan. You can still pig out as a vegetarian, you can still become big, with sugar-based foods, even if it's organic, So, this is it. This is when you focus on something, you must stick to the focus, for that reason, and know what it is you're exactly doing, and that's what I'm doing. I want to get the best out of the 23-hour a day fast. 22, 23 hours looking like, because I can eat my food comfortably and slowly within that amount of time, and so it was very interesting anyway, in relation to what came up just for me about the spuds, and looking at this kind of as an analogy as well in relation to how the mind works, and how this how when we achieve it in one way, how we can apply it in another way, because it's the same blueprint, if you like, for quite a lot of things, and so this is another thing, about doing this, as the guy said yesterday, St. John, it's very important as well when you come off a fast, to slowly ease yourself back into the good diet, if that's what your intention is, and now I've been reminded as well that this is something I'm working on right now. It is this especially when I stop smoking, or I let something go like sugar or whatever, I tend to try to compensate that, so this is something for me to watch, where I start to abuse myself in other ways, find something else to kind of get messed up with, or fill that hole, and get trying to get over this this idea of the program of trying to feel full. If I'm not full, then I haven't eaten enough, or and I think this it is a program. It takes 40 minutes to an hour, to digest a lot of food, to feel the benefits of that, the energy of that, so again, really good idea to be watching other people, and anything you can get on fasting, and people that you might fall upon that might remind you of the pitfalls, and give you some of the tricks and ideas of what to kind of cushion yourself back into, bridges, to build, and all that kind of thing, So it's an awful shame, really. It's it's really difficult for me sometimes to try and get something across that I may have had a vision of, and as I was visualizing it in my mind, and it was so cut and clear, I'm finding myself having conversations with other people, and it's like I can go for 10, 15 minutes, and I'm like, boof, it just sounds awesome, and I think, oh right, if I can get that down on camera, so I find myself in the same vein, putting pressure on myself then when it comes to being here and speaking in the way that I do. And yeah, I feel like in a way I'm just warming up. I'm just warming up, and I think inevitably, it will come, that transformation, or that transmutation onto screen will come. Uh, maybe from harnessing the conversation, that would otherwise go to a friend on the phone, or a friend I just met, or a stranger, and suddenly um, you know uh, the battery is empty, if you like, because I've just already but then there's other things, like where you may uh, say things throughout the day that oh, that's interesting. I'll put that in my mind, in my computer, and put that with something else that ends up on the 15 minutes. So but yeah, so sometimes I do pause, because I'm trying to find that amazing epiphany, or that inspiration or aspiration, or something really mindful that just came to my mind earlier on in the day. So I'm in a situation now where I'm not, I'm wide awake towards um, an impeccable 80 days, from here on in, because I have got this, you know, um, warning, if you like, that's basically saying, be careful, stay focused on just what it is you're setting yourself to do, because you can do it. A man can do 40 days with no food. You can surely do 88 days on one meal. So is to be careful of the the mind, you know, trying to interfere and put fear into your kind of like reality, where you're finding it difficult to get over what you need to get over, because something needs clearing, so I mean, ultimately, it does. I do agree with St. John. There's a great deal can be achieved through abstinence and fasting, and in that way, I hope to get to the bottom of, or the source of some of the or get right into the subconscious, as he said, to get these demons out. This program that break the spell, that I'm under in relation to food. And the difficulty it is. I was in the garage tonight. And it's like surrounded by this just array of sweets everywhere, and even in the other sections, just these buns and these cakes and these everything boxed. I mean, there's absolutely, in that garage, there's absolutely nothing in there that appeals to me. I'm beyond that. My those days are really gone for me. I can't even do that stuff. It's pure poison to me. But I still have problems in the alternative, new agey kind of world of health food shop, and I can still get messed up with the alternative stuff. It's still a form of processed food, and organic or not, it's still, whatever it is, halva or these alternative bars and sugar free this. It doesn't really matter. It can still have the same effect, if you're prone to overeating. So it's really good to watch this, and it's yeah, we don't need a lot of food ultimately. Less is more in a lot of ways, in everything in life. So you'll be surprised as well by just your reality of catching yourself in this one cachet of area in life, which is the diet. How that, what you will achieve when you achieve it and overcome the obstacles that are there, and the programs and the mind fuck, the triggers, the source of some of your your addictions and habits to these foods, and to get over it, and to apply some of this wisdom that exists, and all these various characters that are out there doing the work, and the intuitive wisdom that you may pull out yourself. You'd be surprised, because you can apply this to other areas in your life, and the magic of focusing on this one thing, which is also multi-purpose, and gonna change you in so many other ways too. Yeah, blessed be, it's gone.